In the past, I have had a severe concussion, and from that, I was told that I had permanent brain damage. I am not alone in this, as my father and his friends who played football professionally have been told this very same thing in the past, and they all currently suffer from a disease called CTE. I have seen firsthand the effects of this devastating disease, and because of this, I am here today to tell you, firstly, what CTE is, the causes of CTE, the symptoms of CTE, and how it is diagnosed. First, one may ask, what is CTE? CTE's full name is chronic traumatic encephalopathy, and it is defined as a degenerative brain disease caused by repeated head trauma. It was first discovered in 2005 by Dr. Bennett Amalu, who, in a study where he dissected a recently passed Steeler's brain named Mike Webster, he found trace amounts of a protein called tau, which he correlated to severe brain diseases. And from this, he found an undiscovered brain disease, which he deemed chronic traumatic encephalopathy, otherwise known as CTE. One may ask, how many people does CTE affect? And the answer to that is CTE affects nearly 6% of athletes and non-athletes, and this was found in the largest study ever conducted on CTE by Kevin F. Bieniek, who is a PhD at UT Health San Antonio. The Journal of the American Medical Association also did a study on CTE where they took 202 deceased football players from all levels of play and found that 177 had CTE. They also took 111 NFL players, and out of that 111, 110 had CTE. The most common position in football for concussions and head injuries, which lead to CTE, is any position where someone is a lineman, as they are always facing off with someone in front of them and have a high risk for head injury. Outside of football, CTE is mainly found in boxers, soccer players, hockey players, military members, and those who suffer from domestic abuse. CTE has many symptoms, and they come in stages. There are 4 stages to CTE. The first stage of which is headaches and trouble concentrating. The second is depression, mood swings, aggression, and short-term memory loss. The third stage includes everything I have previously mentioned, just at a higher level, and along with trouble remembering their surroundings, lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. And in the fourth stage, the person affected would suffer from executive dysfunction, which is where someone heavily fails to stay on task. They would also suffer from severe memory loss, paranoia, and walking issues. At the moment, there is no cure or treatment for any of these symptoms, which is very saddening. Now we must get into what causes this disease. This disease, as I mentioned earlier, is caused by repetitive blows to the head and concussions, and normally depends on how many blows to the head you've had or how severe your concussions were, but anyone can get this. The Cleveland Clinic says that repetitive head impacts can damage nerve fibers that course through the brain and injure the brain cells themselves. This can be associated with a buildup of a protein called tau, which may have a role in cell death, and the loss of these cells can interfere with health and healthy brain function. My basic understanding of this is that anytime you hit your head at a hard enough level, an axon in your head snaps, and when it snaps, it breaks down and when it breaks down, it creates a poison, also known as tau, which courses around your brain and poisons the surrounding area, causing brain damage. So, CTE can only be diagnosed after death by brain dissection, where they dissect your brain and test pieces of it for tau and other proteins. At the moment, they're working towards blood testing, where they take a sample of blood and look for traces of tau in the bloodstream. And this seems like it was not too far off from being a real thing. So today, I have told you what CTE is, what causes CTE, the symptoms of CTE, and how it is diagnosed. After seeing this disease firsthand, I will never look at sports the same. Ever since I've seen my father's friend forget where he was, forget where all of his belongings were, and he was only left to sit there crying because he knew this would never end and it would only get worse. This experience changed my entire outlook and made me realize that anytime you step on that field, in that rink, or in that ring, you're taking a risk. And that risk must be faced one way or another. And you must realize CTE is a very real and very dangerous disease. Thank you, and good night.